Hi classic bodybuilding fans. This time I have prepared a very special video for you, in which I will explain my personal ranking of the best chest ever seen in the history of bodybuilding. Since the beginning of bodybuilding, the pecs have been the hallmark of many physiques throughout the history of the sport, and many legends have stood out not only for their dedication and hard work, but also for their impressive muscular development. That's why in this video, I'm bringing you what I consider to be the 10 best chests ever seen in bodybuilding. If you have a different top, let me know in the comments. Well-developed pecs are characterized by their size, density, and proportion. They should be clearly appreciated from every angle, whether standing relaxed, in a side chest pose, in a most muscular pose, or even in a front double bicep pose. These same parameters have been used by countless bodybuilders when training their pecs, with the goal of standing out from the crowd and becoming a legend. In the number 10 spot, I'll put one of my favorite bodybuilders, Rick Wayne. Rick Wayne was an excellent bodybuilder in the 60s. His physique stood out from the crowd due to his massive muscle development, especially his pectorals, which at 50 inches expanded, display enviable size and definition. Furthermore, the vascularity he displayed every time he contracted this muscle made him worthy of being considered one of the best pectorals of his time. Number 9. Mike Katz. Mike was a somewhat underrated bodybuilder in the 70s, but his chest was one of the largest ever seen in the history of the sport. Measuring 60 inches, Mike Katz had an immense chest, accompanied by a large ribcage developed through pullovers, which he made shine on stage every time he performed a chest pose, leaving his mark on the sport for history due to his significant development. Number 8. Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno is a great example of a well-proportioned and symmetrical chest. However, his size wasn't always this big. From a young age, he worked so hard to develop his body that his pec reached an impressive 59-60 inches in size, which earned him several titles during his career, as well as the role of the Incredible Hulk in the famous 70 television series. Number 7. Serge Nubret. One of the most classic pecs ever seen in bodybuilding belongs to Serge Nubret, a bodybuilder with a 57-inch chest that is very proportionate, round, defined, and aesthetically pleasing. Serge Nubret himself commented that for most people, arms are the most important thing, but you're making a serious mistake if you sculpt big arms without complementing them with an impressive chest. Number 6. Freddie Ortiz. This bodybuilder may be little known to some, but the truth is that his pecs were among the best of his time. Standing at 5 feet 6, he managed to develop a 50-inch chest that stood out not only for its size and definition, but also for the expansion of his ribcage, which made this muscle appear larger than it already was. Likewise, Freddy's balanced development earned him one of the best aesthetics of his time. Number 5. Reg Park. Reg Park was one of the first bodybuilders to stand out for the impressive development of his pectoral muscles. Measuring 53 inches, his remarkable size, definition, and ribcage expansion helped him turn this muscle into one of his strengths, as well as winning several renowned competitions, such as the Mr. Universe title 3 times, the Mr. Europe title in 1950, and others. However, this muscle wasn't just notable for its size, but also for its strength, as he was the first bodybuilder to bench press 500 pounds, which was beyond compare at the time. Number 4. Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves, one of the greatest legends of bodybuilding, had a perfect chest, a masterpiece of muscle, aesthetic, and proportion that reached an impressive 52 inches. Furthermore, I consider it to have been the first best chest ever seen in the history of bodybuilding, dominating competitions such as the 1947 Mr. America and the 1950 Mr. Universe, among many others. Over the years, his chest has become a symbol of perfection and has served as an inspiration for many beginners on their journey to a classic physique. Now we move on to what I consider to be the 3 best chests in the history of bodybuilding. Number 3. Franco Colombo. Franco Colombo, the Sardinian strongman, at 5 feet 4 tall and weighing 185 pounds, had one of the best chests in history. A whopping 50 inches and impressive definition, allowing you to see the division of every fiber and part of his chest, even when relaxed. Like Reg Park, his chest stood out not only for its impressive density, but also for its strength. There are photos of him bench pressing 475 pounds, although Franco himself claims to have benched 525 pounds at his peak. Number 2. Sergio Oliva. What I consider the second best chest in the history of bodybuilding belongs to the legendary Sergio Oliva, a Cuban bodybuilder who possessed an immense amount of muscle mass in his pectorals, which at 59 inches left no doubt about their impressive density. Furthermore, each muscle fiber stood out with excellent definition with each contraction he performed, creating an enviable symmetry and proportion. Before moving on to the number 1 spot, I'm going to include a section of honorable mentions, in which I'll list bodybuilders who didn't make this list, but who I still think had very good pecs. Starting with Marvin Eder, Robbie Robinson, Ed Carney, Bill Pearl, Danny Padilla, Frank Zane, George Eiferman, and Harold Paul. And the number 1 spot goes to Arnold Schwarzenegger. The greatest bodybuilder of all time brought with him the best chest ever seen in the history of bodybuilding. Measuring 58 inches with enviable definition and otherworldly proportion, he left his rivals stunned on the stage with every pose he executed. His pectoral development from the beginning was based on hard work and dedication, gaining not only muscle mass, but also impressive strength, which allowed him to bench press 525 pounds and use 450 pounds in reps during regular training. Arnold's chest was undoubtedly being the best of all time, and his pecs were, are, and will continue to be the best ever seen in the history of bodybuilding. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this list of the best chests in bodybuilding. I'd love for you to leave your own top 10 picks in the comments, including what you consider to be the best pecs in bodybuilding. If you like it, you can support me by subscribing, linking, and sharing the video to continue spreading classic bodybuilding. Take care of yourself and keep training hard.